This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot here, mostly on a football Friday. On tap today over the next 3 hours, Nigel Seeley, best bets in soccer, coming up in about 30 minutes. Chuck Edel can't make today's show. Again, he's been really tied up on Fridays last couple of weeks. Mike Somich, VSiN host, his best bets in the NFL. Paul Bovey, professional sports bettor, in studio coming up a little bit later on. We're going to have some guts. Let's get nuts. I think I said that backwards, but you know what I'm saying. We'll look at a little bit at the NBA card tonight. We'll run down everything that you need to know week 12 of the National Football League. Paulie, little college football sprinkled in throughout as well. I will say this. There's a college basketball game beginning here in like any minute. I do have a bet on it, so I wanted to bring that up. We can maybe track it, and if you want to get down, you might have another minute to do so. It's BYU taking on Wisconsin. This is at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. They played in the tournament last year. It was 91-89. The total was, this opened 158.5. It's 166 right now at Circa. I kind of like the first half over, but I think we're going to get both teams in the 80s. So I parlayed Wisconsin over 77.5 points with BYU to score more than 78.5 points. Exactly what I did last year in the tournament, but I also altered it last year. I'm not going to do that today. It's $1.18. Let's get some fireworks early here, huh?
All right.
Okay.
Great game.
Absolutely it is.
I'm shocked at all of it. The fact that they're playing there.
Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific
and
time?
all that, yes.
Yeah. Okay, do you also want to get a little bit nuts here to begin? Can I interest you in a little 10-1 Texans to win their division?
Oh, wow. That's aggressive. I love this defense, and I hope they make the playoffs. I mean, you just see Hunter's like a superhero right out of a movie. How big his biceps are, right? Look like me in high school. But this is just, this is crazy how nasty this. I love this defense. It's just, I'm bringing heat every single time, and there's nothing you can do about it, that I'm going to run over you and rip up Allen. And good job by Davis Mills to hold it down while Stroud was out. But I think that's a little aggressive, my friend. Now, the schedule's definitely doable at the back end, but it comes down to these next 2 weeks. Can they steal another one? We said it yesterday. Can you steal two? Two. They got one. They stole the game yesterday. Your 6-point dog got the win. Now you got to go to Indy, and you got to go to Kansas City. But with that defense, anything's possible. And you see the playmakers they have, and Nico and Higgins look good, and now you got Stroud coming back.
Sure.
Playoffs, yes. I can't get division, though.
Well, Indianapolis, they have a lot of losable games coming up.
They do.
Including the Texans twice. Yet they have not played, so Houston can maybe sweep them and have a leg up. Look, Jacksonville is still in the mix as well. I think I would put the Texans defense at the very top of the list for any unit in football that I want to watch, like every single week. Right? There are some offenses that are great, that you want to watch probably whenever they play their games. But that unit, it's Anderson and Hunter on every single play. Mm-hmm. And Anderson's probably better than Hunter, but you're right. I mean, Hunter looks like he could compete in like some, I don't know, what do they still do, like the Mr. Olympia stuff?
Ken Patera? Can I say
Ken Patera. Wow, I get the reference, yeah.
Okay.
He's got veins popping out of veins, man.
Yeah. Superstar Billy Graham?
I like that one even better.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Got the Pythons, baby. That's right.
Okay, well then what about a little bit on the Bills to miss the playoffs? Still available around 5 or 6 to 1, which we talked about at length yesterday on the program.
I don't care what the odds said when you watched the game yesterday about playoff percentages and all that. The level of concern is sky high.
Oh, it's never been higher.
Sky high. Can't stop the run. Where are the playmakers? And again, Allen has to be awesome, or it's just a bad team. Uncle Lou. Great call by Uncle Lou. Remember, they were plus 24 in the turnover battle last year. It's not going their way this year. And that is definitely in play that they can miss. You can't say at Pittsburgh, Cincinnati at home that these are gimme games. The way this defense is played and how bad they are against the run and how the offensive line. And injuries, too, have hit them hard with the wide receiver position as well. But this also goes back to something we talked about yesterday. There is no doubt this is a playoff team. They blew 3 games. How about the Week 2 game Monday night against Tampa?
Oh, you're talking Texans, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Texans blew that game. They blew the Jacksonville game. And they should have beat Denver, too. But Stroud got hurt in that game, and they couldn't put him away and gave up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So this, at least, they should have 7 wins. But, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they run out 4-0. but it's going to be a good sweat, and I'm rooting for them, but certainly level of concern is sky high for the Bills.
I think the Bills' number to win the AFC is laughable. Mm-hmm. It's the same number basically to miss the playoffs. They're around 6-1 to win the AFC. Who wants any part of that with how broken this team is right now?
Not to mention, you're looking at probably a 4 or 5 matchup right off the bat with Baltimore and the Bills.
There you go. Also, what are we missing here? I get it. Allen is the reigning MVP. This entire offense right now has to go through Jimbo Cook. Mm-hmm. How did he not get more touches last night?
Yeah, I agree with that.
How did they not just say, you're going to get the ball 30 times, man, and we're going to try to win the game with you? Also, this absolutely kills me. Yes, it was a high-scoring game in the first half, but the game eventually died. There wasn't a touchdown scored in the second half, and it stayed under the closing total, right? How do you think Buffalo feels today? Again, having zero they were incapable of reading the room last night. They ran James Cook into 4 Texans defenders on 4th and 1 at the Houston 23-yard line rather than trying a field goal. Mm-hmm. The score at the time was 23-16. The final score was 23-19. If they kicked it there and made it, it's 23-22. They have a shot after the conversion on 4th and 27 to win the game with another field goal. Nobody ever wants to, quote, take the points anymore. Mm-hmm. Even when the game is there's not much happening offensively and your quarterback is getting murdered every time that he has the ball in his hands. Also, think about this. Buffalo converted in the fourth quarter alone. They converted improbable plays on 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13, and then that hook and ladder play on 4th and 27. None of them resulted in a touchdown. They had 1 field goal, and that was it to show for any of that. I don't get it, Paulie. If the game was playing out last night where it was 41-38, fine. Because you're not getting stops and you're scoring a bunch of touchdowns. That's the game completely flipped after halftime. It goes back to the Miami-Washington game last week in Madrid. Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted to try to field goal.
Yep. I think it swung too far. I think we need to start taking points, especially in low-scoring games. It's one thing to go for it, but it's also you drop an asinine play. You have Allen, who's a bulldozer. How about a little creativity here and get him out and running and go shotgun and give him some options as well? But the bad beats it also. If they play 50 times, 45 of the 50, it's going to be 17-13, 16-13, something like that. The fluke kickoff return, the interception deep in his own territory. The first half was a fluke. Condolences if he had the over, but then again, it was a fluke what happened in the first half. Mm-hmm. The Allen stuff to get over, vicious beats. Gabe Davis has a 22-yard catch early in the game, does nothing the rest of the game. There were several bad beats there. But you just see that Houston, if they can get this going here offensively with the weapons and what they have with Woody and with even Schultz didn't do much, but Kirk and Higgins and Collins, they can do this.
I love this team.
They can do this, yeah, absolutely. Fairbairn again. How about that? 18-3 overrun, plus money yesterday.
Yep, never a sweat. Let me point this out. So then, again, the team they have to track down to win this division, I don't want to get too crazy here, but would be Indianapolis. And they're catching 3.5 against the Chiefs coming up on Sunday. Obviously, this is an Arrowhead. I want your guy, Jonathan Taylor, odds on, has been now for a couple of weeks to win Offensive Player of the Year. When you look at every advanced number, obviously the run game is absolutely elite. They're at the very top of every important metric. And then you flip a Paulie and look at the Chiefs' defense overall full season to date versus the run. They are 19th in adjusted line yards, tied for 24th in power success rate allowed, 27th in stuffed rate, 10th in the second level, 15th in the open field, which is a little bit better. But how will I know it's going to be, the narrative is as easy as Spagnuolo's going to drop something. What if the Chiefs defense is dominated by this front by the Colts and Taylor runs that actually can happen here. And it's a gotta have a game, as Sal Pal said on Wednesday, for the Chiefs. They have to have as many games as possible down the stretch here. I know Danny Jones also added to the injury report earlier in the week, but they also got Sauce in, who's played one game. If their secondary is going to be improved, getting guys back here from injury as well, maybe this is much more difficult for KC than we think. The 3.5 is gone here at Circa.
Again, this is fascinating. 15 teams since 1990 to be 5-5 or worse and favored versus a team 8-2 or better. The previous 14 all won and a 12-0-2 ATS run. They got me last week with the must-win off the bye, all that jazz. Mahomes has to play better. Mahomes got to stop turning it over. There's a good breakdown today. Kelsey had a ton of targets last week. You can look at his props now that it's not cutting time. I mean, it's got to be big. for Kansas City, and maybe Kelsey's more involved.
I think he's going to be. The Colts are bad against tight ends.
Okay, and I also think it's a big Rice game. There's a lot of the damage against the Colts has been done in the slot, and that Rice can eat in this one. And now you got the Worthy news, which is unfortunate that he's questionable. But are we going to see the bad Danny Dimes? We keep talking about Darnold. This is the same thing here. 4 interceptions the last couple games. Should have lost to Atlanta. So now do we start seeing some bad Danny Dimes, and he implodes here down the stretch?
I'll tell you. So obviously one of his strengths is getting out of the pocket and running and picking up a bunch of chunk yards as the quarterback there. And you can do that against the Chiefs. They have the second highest scramble rate allowed in the entire NFL, 6th most yards to quarterbacks, and most touchdowns to QBs on the ground. But again, he hit the IR injury report yesterday. So maybe he's going to be a little bit compromised, and that won't be in his weaponry coming up on Sunday.
There's a lot of surprises. Yep. A lot of guys banged up this week. The ultimate Vegas weekend, incredible. VSiN and Circa have you covered. The first 100 new VSiN Pro annual subscribers who sign up using the code Circa get a free 3-night stay here at Circa, January 2nd through the 5th, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim during the final weekend of the regular season. 50% off the monthly price, full year of VSiN Pro. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the AI prop tools, and every guide we've ever done moving forward. Don't miss your shot at this great Circa getaway. VSiN.com/Circa. Promo code Circa. VSiN.com/Circa. Get your 3-night stay.
All right, more games coming up next in the National Football League. How about this? We'll tell you the player who is 32-6 straight up, 29-9 ATS in divisional games over his last 38. That's next here on VSiN.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Paulie on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
On the next edition of Prop Points, we'll see how many of our favorite player props cashed out for Week 12. Our Monday Night Football matchup will be the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Carolina Panthers. The Grinder, Tom Brawley from FantasyPoints.com, will join the program to give out his favorite player props for Monday night. I'll also pop out my favorite props, of course. I'll have a Monday night special as well. I'm John Hansen. Tune into Monday's edition of Prop Points at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Games coming up here, Week 12 on Sunday, National Football League. Begin in Chicago as the Bears are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Chicago is a 2.5-point favorite. Total as low as 44.5 on the screen, as high as 46. I like the note that Matt Humans shared with us on Wednesday, and the Friday Invitational is coming up after this show, and the leader in this contest is Jason Jarvis, who has, I believe, 2 top 10 finishes in circa millions. Very good NFL handicapper. Matt reached out to him about the Steelers-Bears game, wanting to play Chicago. Jarvis has won, keep this in mind, he has won 10 straight best bets on the Friday night show. So we all got to be tuning in tonight to see who he likes, first of all. But he said he thinks Pittsburgh wins the game. That's strong enough for me to say my initial lean was absolutely Chicago. I'm off him.
Okay.
I'm not going to go against him right now.
All right. Well, you got the luck factor. And this Houdini act every single week, it's incredible. 5 wins this year when trailing in the final 2 minutes. They've won 7 of 8. They're number 1 in turnover margin and takeaways. 22 takeaways, what they've done, and all the interceptions. Does it continue? It can't. The other thing is, when you look at their wins, their opponents are a combined 20, 51, and 1. So, congratulations. I know you're taking care of business, but it's just this is asinine. What's going on every single week?
Is this similar to the Giants team from a couple years ago?
Yeah, I like that. That's not bad.
Is that the comp?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're going against the worst pass defense in the league.
Oh, these numbers on both defenses are alarming.
Yep. So I think Caleb's going to have success, and they're going to move it and have some luck on the ground. We'll see if Rodgers goes or if it's going to be Rudolph. You pointed this out. You think Rodgers is going to play. He hates the Bears. 25-5 career against Chicago, including the playoffs. I'm rooting for the Bears here, but I can't get past this luck factor, and they're not that good. And at some point, these takeaways are going to stop with the 15 interceptions. 7-1 this year when they have at least a takeaway. Steelers have been bad on the road. 1-5 ATS run on the road. You saw what Cincinnati did to them and Flacco in that Thursday night game. But I'm looking at some props here as well. Number 1, Jonnu Smith has gone under every single game. Number 2, how about the big man, Washington? Just trucking people. Get out of my way. And 3 broken tackles on that 31-yard run that he had against the Bengals. I'm looking for him to get more involved, and I'm looking at him also 3-1 anytime touchdown. I'll get to that later with you can't get nuts, but 3-1 anytime touchdown as well. I think he's going to be an important part of this team, and you can't stop the guy. He's so big.
Well, here's part of the handicap and why I really like this game overall, because we love the tight end position, right? And we like betting on a bunch of guys who play that position. You can beat both of these defenses with tight ends overall. Chicago has allowed the 7th most catches, Pittsburgh the 9th most. Yards allowed, Steelers 7th most overall. Touchdowns, 6 against Pittsburgh and 4 against Chicago. So tight ends have been having their way against these teams. But also, the Bears have allowed the 2nd most touchdowns to wide receivers, 14 overall. They're not getting crushed with the yards, only 12th most yards, but they're absolutely finding the end zone. If that is going to be a thing in this game, is DK Metcalf finally going to pop? Who's going to be the other guy for Pittsburgh to get in?
No, Rodgers doesn't throw to him.
That's what I'm saying that, yeah.
No, not happening. I think it's more Washington and dumping it off to the running backs as well. The other thing that helps us, too, is if Edwards doesn't play. The Bears have had bad games when Edwards has been out covering the tight end.
Yeah.
And we got to go Boswell here, too. It's $1.08 at Caesars.
Is the weather good?
With him, I don't care.
Okay, monsoon.
Boswell's that good.
I still bet 2.5.
Unless we got Giants, at the MetLife when it's 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, everything Boswell. I can't believe that price. Just like Fairbairn yesterday. Go to the app on Caesars, click on team totals, and then you'll see it with made field goals.
He's $1.08.
Can you believe it?
For over 1.5 field goals.
Yeah.
Again, if it loses, who cares? You got to bet it at that number.
Second best in the league. That's right.
So, another thing. The Steelers have allowed the most receptions and 2nd most yards to wide receivers and 9 touchdowns overall. The guru, John Hansen, was making the case for Rome Odunze earlier in this game. I think he's going to have to be the guy that you attack it with.
I think this is going to backfire on Pittsburgh. 4th highest blitz rate. And I think that's where you're going to play in.
That's been Warren Sharp's whole thing.
Yeah.
Every week he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And Caleb's a great job escaping. Rushing yards you have to look at here with Caleb Williams, longest rush. And I think they'll move it. Will Pittsburgh turn it over, though? And maybe if it's Rodgers, probably. But it's a great story, but I think it's going to come to an end. And they could still win here and miss out. That's how tough the schedule is. And still, I'm sitting here, and I don't know how good this team is, but we're going to find out.
Sure. Okay, so new members of the audience, for those who don't know, Paulie is from Minnesota originally. I'm from the state of Wisconsin. He's not like a diehard Vikings fan. I'm not a diehard Packers fan. So we're not homers when it comes to these two teams whatsoever. But we have followed these two teams, obviously, our entire lives quite closely. Can you state the case for Minnesota to win this game outright? I would say Packers have a lot of guys who are questionable at this point, and maybe that, and you can't trust Jordan Love whatsoever, and maybe Brian Flores makes it really difficult on him in this game. But it's also, I mean, I think there's a chance here that J.J. McCarthy is the worst starting quarterback in football.
Oh, what happened to you?
Well, I've watched the games.
Week 1, you loved them.
Well, I had.
You can change your mind, but that was
again. But
a lot of people crowned them Monday night, Week 1.
Well, I loved Minnesota going into the season because I don't know. So wrong on that so far because of the quarterback position. But Kevin O'Connell has been unbelievable with scrap heap quarterbacks.
I don't know what the cork's going to pop off business. The quote that he said. The case for Minnesota here is Green Bay beats themselves.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think, too.
That's all I just think. Now, I know they are 0-6 now, ATS, when laying more than 4 points. That's troubling. But I think they're going to force some turnovers. The defense is nasty. This is the other thing about an indictment of LaFleur. Green Bay is number 1 on third down conversion rate. So what if they weren't doing that, what this offense would look like? But Watson's been good. Maybe the Kraft injury is too much to overcome, but I like Watson over. I just think they'll have success through the air. They got the good news today that Reed will be coming back.
Yeah.
21-day window's open. I think they'll have success on the ground, and I just don't see the Vikings doing much offensively that they couldn't. That is bad, man. They had 3 points in the fourth quarter at home against the Bears.
Yeah.
And you also see you got the negative stuff going on about the slamming helmets and I'm open, give me the ball. What's going on? You're missing throws. Then when they hit the guys, the wide receivers are dropping them. There's a lot of bad stuff going on with the Vikings, and they know the season's over, too.
Yeah, and with the Vikes as a divisional road dog since 2010, 5-23 straight up, 9-20 ATS. But I have to bring, it seems like we talk about this angle almost every single week. This year, anyway, with Green Bay, Matt LaFleur is 14-25 ATS as a single-digit favorite since 2021. Straight up, he's fine, 23-15-1, but 11 games below 500 against the spread there. That is not great. Over the total, Paulie, in the last 5 years between these two teams, 8-2.
Yep.
Pretty strong.
This is the last time I will call for this. I want up-tempo. I want to play with some pace. Stop it. You have too many weapons. Go fast. I'm watching the game last week. With 5 minutes left in the game, it was Green Bay's 7th possession only. Knock it off.
Well, I want to go back to something you said. You asked the question 2 minutes ago, is the Kraft injury too much to overcome? He was turning into, top 3, whatever, put any number you want on it, tight end in the entire league, and he was clearly the number 1 weapon there in the passing game. Let me get to the tease that I had 10 minutes ago before the commercial break. The person I was talking about, who is 32-6 straight up and 29-9 ATS in divisional games since 2017, do you know? Dak Prescott.
No.
How about that?
These numbers are ridiculous. 21-2 straight up at home against the East.
Yeah.
18 in a row.
Unreal numbers
18
here.
in a row.
That's incredible, man. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. I can't take the Eagles because of this. And then the reports coming out about what's going on with Hurts and Brown. And numerous people ticked off at Hurts.
Mm-hmm. So here's how Philadelphia's defense ranks, by the way. Again, full season. They are second against wide receiver number 1, and they allow 56 yards per game. That would be CeeDee Lamb. They're 18th against wide receiver number 2, allowing 72 yards per game. They're third against wide receiver number 3. They're number 1 against tight ends. So Jake Ferguson probably in store for a long day. Mm-hmm. However, you can beat them with running backs in the air as well. So Pickens, I think, makes some sense. Sal Pell liked Pickens on Wednesday. He's the host of the matchup show on ESPN, joins us every week. Yep. He said, watch out for Pickens. He's going to have a good game here. And again, they are 30th against running backs in the air. Dallas has allowed the 3rd most receiving yards to running backs overall, 7th most to wide receivers. Because of what's going on with Hurts and Brown, don't we just trust Devontae Smith here?
That's what I thought last week.
This is a new week, pal.
Well, the weather, yeah. This one's tough because the totals move 4 points as it should. But the big question is, was that good Dallas or was it awful Raiders?
I lean 90% bad Raiders.
Could be, okay.
However, we're going to change our tune on that if the Cowboys come out here and are really good defensively again.
Yep. But also, even though the numbers come down significantly, the total can't be this high in an Eagles game. It can't be. Yeah, I don't care who they're going against. That's how bad the offense has been, and their defense is unbelievable.
It's kind of like last night. The Houston defense against the Bills, their offense and their defense, well, the Houston defense won out with that one. Up next, there are like 5 pages of Shadeur Sanders props to bet on this weekend, and also best bets in soccer with Nigel Seeley as we roll on here on a Football Friday on VSiN.
Got a good thing coming, so wait and see. It's a good.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network. Follow the money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We're live in Vegas here on a Football Friday. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard. Coming up, Nigel Seeley, best bets in soccer for the weekend. We'll get the win-lose coming up in 15 minutes as well. So you're telling me you are so excited, I think, about watching and betting on Shadeur Sanders. I don't even know who you are at this point.
Well, it's also the markets, though. I mean, there's just pages and pages of props from all these sports books on what this kid's going to do. You got to go back to that discussion we had in August when he was great in the preseason against Carolina. And, look at the line movement and now offensive rookie. I'm like, come, he's not going to play that.
I fired.
So that's right.
Yeah.
But he looks so good, and then people say, hey, all right, we got this kid could play, rooting for him. So, and then certainly it was a unmitigated disaster last week, but they threw the kid in a tough situation. But it's also going against a lousy organization, a lousy team, and a bad defense. But some of this stuff, it's like, it's doable at a good price. FTM at VSiN.com or tweet at us as well. What do you expect, and what do you think if this kid will accomplish anything in his career?
Oh, in his career? I thought you were going to say in this game.
He can do that too moving forward. Maybe he doesn't. Nothing happens and he just can't play and that's it and he's out of the league in a couple years. Who knows? But I think this will be a good indicator of what's going to happen with this guy moving forward. Because some of these props, I mean, it's like Davis Mills, Justin Fields territory. Will he have 25 yards in each quarter plus 350? 25 yards. I bet over 150 yards for the game. Will he have 100 yards in each half, plus 650? A 40-yard completion, plus 250. A 20-plus yard long rush, 4-1. 5 rushing yards each quarter. This isn't bad. It's like preseason football, right? The play breaks down. I panic. No one's open. Take off and run. That's 10-1.
You should bet him to throw for the most passing yards on Sunday.
Oh, come on now.
If you're that high in the kid.
I'm not high. I like the market and the menu.
So it was obviously disgusting to look at last week, but he also had no reps whatsoever. So this week, with a full 5 days to get ready for an opponent that is as bad as the Las Vegas Raiders, my guess is it's going to look a lot different than it did against Baltimore.
Yeah.
And these numbers, and by the way, here's what you have going for you as well. What if he came into the game last week and led them to a victory and actually looked good? Mm-hmm. Do you know what his numbers would be in this game? It'd probably be like 225.5.
Yeah.
But it's the exact opposite. And here you are after a very small sample size. We're talking about one half of football against a good team, and you can buy like this low. We don't have a 4-year sample size on Justin Fields when they make the prop 135 yards. We don't have 2.5 years on Bryce Young to know that it's rare when he did last week, but you know what I'm saying? For the most part, he could never hit 200 yards. Maybe the game plan this week is, you know what? But they found something in practice. He comes out, he throws the ball 35 times, and he's okay at it. And he blows by some of these numbers here.
Put him in a position to succeed. Give him some high percentage stuff early. Bubble screens, dump offs, screens, whatever. Okay?
I know this. You have good tight ends there.
You got that too. Easy, right? That's what Gabriel did early on. 50 yards each quarter, 50-1. How about that?
Okay.
A touchdown each quarter, 170-1.
Wow.
210 yards passing plus 330. Come on. We're getting blown out.
You could actually
plus 440 to have 220 yards. Come on.
It's also how effective is Junkins on the ground.
Yeah.
And if he's having a big day, maybe they're just like, we got to keep feeding the hot hand here.
Yeah. Good job. FanDuel did it. DraftKings, Caesars, ton of same-game parlays, extensive menus. Polarizing guy. You know, you got that too, and then you saw the jersey sales in August as well. It's been too long. We catch up with our old friend Nigel Seeley at Seeley_Nigel on X. How about a total and 3 plays here in the Prim? Take it away, Nigel.
Hello everyone, it's Nigel Seeley here, looking ahead to a busy weekend in the Premier League. It was international break last week, and it was a good international break. The countdown to the 2026 World Cup is well away. The draw is in a couple of weeks, and there were some good international fixtures. Can't wait for that, and I'll be giving you some picks as we build up to the championships over in America. Anyway, let's have a look at the Premier League and the English lower leagues. There are 3 bets I like in the English Premier League. The first bet is in the early kickoff, which is 7:30 p.m. a.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And it's the match where Chelsea travel to Burnley. Burnley, the newly promoted club, who have done very, very well at home this season, but have now been hit by a few injuries. They've got a small squad. They've got a very, very inexperienced squad. And suddenly a couple of injuries in the camp. Things may fall apart very quickly for Burnley. Scott Parker is a former Chelsea player. He's the manager of Burnley. And he'll want to put up a bit of a show against his former side. And he'll be resolute defensively. But ultimately, Chelsea will break them down. Chelsea have a whole injury crisis as well. Up to 11 players missing for the World Club Champions at the weekend. But I still think whoever they put out will be big enough to beat this Burnley side. At home, Burnley have lost 2 matches in the Premier League. They've both been against good opposition. They got beaten by Liverpool 1-0 and they got beaten by Arsenal 2-0 in the Premier League. And Chelsea aren't far off those pair. So I think there's a similar kind of result here. Chelsea are very heavy minus money favourites, around about minus 225. But to boost that up, I'm going to go for Chelsea to win to 0 at plus 150. So Chelsea to win and not to concede against a Burnley side who have injuries, including to their strikers. The next match I like in the Premier League is the big game of the weekend. It's the North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham at the Emirates on Sunday at 11:30 Eastern time. Traditionally, this match is a fixture that produces lots of goals. The last 7 matches between the two sides in this fixture, over 2.5 goals has cashed. I like to swim against the tide. I think this could be a low-scoring game. The reason why I think it could be a low-scoring game is Arsenal have the best defence in the Premier League, or the best home defence in the Premier League, but they're without one of their better defenders. Gabriel is out for 2 months, a huge blow for the Gunners' title aspirations. They're also without their main striker, Gyökeres, who is out as well, and they've got injuries. And I also think they're up against a Tottenham side who have injuries themselves, but a manager in Thomas Frank, who is very, very defensively minded. And I think that he'll set his side out not to be embarrassed here, to try to hit them on the counter-attack and try to get a result. I don't think it's going to be very exciting. I expect Arsenal to win it very, very narrowly, 1-0. And also, both of these clubs have huge Champions League matches in midweek. Arsenal face Bayern Munich at home at the Emirates, and Tottenham travel to Paris to face the champions, Paris Saint-Germain. So I think this is going to be close. I'm going against the tide. Under 2.5 goals at plus 105. My final bet comes on the Monday Night Football, and it's my best bet of the weekend, actually. It's Manchester United to beat Everton. Plain and simply, money line, minus 133. Manchester United unbeaten in 5 matches. They scored 2 or more goals in 7 of their last 8. Amarin, the Manchester United manager, has been announced as the manager of the month. They've turned it around in recent weeks. They're creating so many chances, and they're up against an Everton side who, away from home, have been pretty abysmal this season. Man United have only lost once at home this season. That was on the opening day against Arsenal, and they should have probably won that match. Man United are turning the corner a little bit here, and to get minus 133, I think that is a value price. So Manchester United at minus 133. And one bet for me in the Championship, I'm going to go for Bristol City to beat Swansea at plus 115 in the Championship, the English second level there, the lower division below the Premier League. Bristol City are a good side. They've got a lot of players back from injury for this match. Swansea are in complete disarray. They're currently in 18th place in the table. They've got a real poor defensive record, and Bristol City score goals for fun. They've got their best players back. I think they've got 3 players back for this match who've been out missing, and I think Bristol City will be a team to follow in the new year as they push for a playoff spot. So Bristol City to beat Swansea in the Championship, and my best 3 Premier League bets involving the big teams. Chelsea to win to 0 at Burnley, plus 150. Arsenal beat Tottenham, under 2.5 goals at plus 105 on Sunday. And on Monday, Manchester United to beat Everton. You can read my columns featuring all these bets on the VSiN website. Have a good weekend, cash some tickets, and I'll speak to you all again next week.
There you go. Our buddy Nigel Seeley, his best bets in soccer this weekend. Update Salt Lake City College basketball today. I have a bet on... I parlayed these teams to score. Wisconsin more than 77.5, BYU more than 78.5. Before it started, Wisconsin not holding up and doing their part. They only have 24 points. They trail by 12, and the game total now is 166.5. BYU is favored by 11.5 in the game. So Wisconsin's been awesome again this year, early on here offensively. Going back to last year, tying that in. Guard changed everything there with the philosophy on offense, but shots are not going down so far in the first half there. They're also playing, by the way, on the Utah Jazz NBA Cup court, and it looks like Prince out there. It's so purple. And tonight's a big night in the NBA.
It is.
With the
good
Cup.
games, yes. Denver and Houston coming up.
That's a good one. I lost with the Hawks last night. They allowed, think about this, how many guys the Spurs were without. They allowed the Spurs to score a combined 86 points in the second and the fourth quarter. They got absolutely torched. No Wemby, no Castle, no Harper. That's an incredible job by San Antonio.
Yep.
So they took it to them and lost that bet as a result. Up next, win some, lose some. How about this? A 17-1 cash last night and an 18-3 overrun. Paulie's going to detail it all next here on VSiN.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Check out Stormy and JVT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
And maybe that's why they wouldn't, because they're the Giants and they don't do things that make sense.
Out of all these divisions, this is the one that I am the most curious about because I do think there are positive signs for the Bears.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Great game last night. Phenomenal finish. First touchdown of the game. Cook 6-1. Anytime touchdown. Ray Davis 17-1. Defensive and special teams touchdown plus 280. I don't understand why, like Herb Street said, well, it kind of threw him off because he ran into his own guy. He did 360 and then housed it.
Yeah, nobody touched him.
Why did that happen? Why were they thrown off by that?
Yeah, that was a fluky play.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Higgins, anytime, 6-1. Kirk, as high as 7-1, anytime. Mills, 2 touchdowns, and the Texans win, 5-1 here at Circa. And Fairbairn does it again. Plus money at Caesars, 18-3 over. 1.5 made field goals. What a run that's been. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. You guys have been doing a great job. Look at this guy coming in where they're about to wrestle, and they're going at it. And this guy rolls over like he was going to kick him. And he comes at him. Wait, look at this move. Barking at him and then coming in with a somersault and a kung fu job. The Karate Kid. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Beautiful move.
I think the house here left the TV on with a UFC loop the entire time.
That's right. That's excellent. Couple lose some. Hawaii, Arizona State under. 149 down to 142. That was 83-76. I also put this under lose some. It just went final. Indianapolis, the Jaguars.
Okay.
Game died, but it fell 181. Between the movement and the landing spots of their games, and they're playing at funky times, crazy. They lost 101-80. The landing spots are crazy with these games.
Yeah, I really don't want to say this on the air, but for what it's worth, their power rating is way off. Forget totals for a second.
Okay.
They're a really bad basketball team, and they were favored again today.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And every site.
Wow.
I put up Alabama State on the VSiN Picks page earlier today. Had to take them. They were a 3-point dog.
And good job. Donnie Miller sent this in. Good job, Donnie.
Oh, this is a good one.
You got to put people on Front Street, and there's the guy.
Well, he's looking at him, too.
Yep. What a way to start a Friday morning. This guy is treating the hotel lobby like it was his living room. Shoes off, blabbing away. The cell, he's talking on speaker. I could care less about your conversation. Put your shoes back on, and he snapped a picture of him. There you go. Good job, Donnie Miller. I can't believe it. Between the shoes off and then that's the other one. Why? You're sitting there talking. I'm speaking, having a conversation where the whole world can hear you.
That is the ultimate double whammy right there. I don't even know which one is worse. I actually lean the speakerphone in public like that.
I think you're right. Yep, I think you're right. Well played, my friend. Bad for the books. Central Florida under 155 down to 149. That was 77-67. And a bad beat, a vicious beat. Troy was 11-1 on the money line. They were catching 18 against USC. They lost in triple overtime. USC hit a 3 from the parking lot at the buzzer to win it. That team must be good. They beat San Diego State as like a 15-point dog on the road.
Yeah, that turned into a thing on social media because it was the Trojans against the Trojans.
Okay.
No, I'm just, as the mascot's there.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm not saying anything more than that. And they gave them a game the entire time. And it's a rough beat. And, people are, well, who had them on the money line? You never know. People bet all this stuff, man.
Yep. Sure. Before the line moves, sharp plays already there. They don't just follow the market. They help move it. Jeff and the crew been at it since 2011. Been with Follow the Money since day one. Look for the first touchdown tweets. Covers every sport. Mr. Poison updates. Documentary results. Public logs. Transparent receipts. Donated $22,000 to charity with the Robin Hood plays. Trusted by pros. Watched by the books. The serious edge bettors use every day. Free reports, alerts, and market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X feed. SharpPlays.com. Stay ahead of the line. SharpPlays.com, baby.
Is this the week that you want to be laying 2.5 or 3 points with Jacksonville on the road after a dominating, their best performance with a bullet last week at home against the Chargers?
No, can't figure them out.
Nope.
And I can't figure out the defense. Now, much like the Bears, I don't think they have a good defense, but they are third in takeaways. 18 takeaways on the year. But you couldn't stop Geno Smith. You couldn't slow down Davis Mills. And maybe Brissett Cooks here. Such a weird game last week that they get routed, but he's 47 of 57 for almost 500 yards. He's 4-1 to the over this year. And I think this could be an aerial circus in this one, as Arizona can't stop anything. Back-to-back games, they've lost by 17 plus and allowed 40 points.
Yeah, I'm going to expand on this, the player that you're going to want to look at for sure coming up in about 25 minutes. But I will tell you that on the ground, and Jacksonville's rush offense has been very good for the most part the entire year. They have like very good numbers like rush, block, win rate, overall. Their metrics with the running game are very strong. And when you flip it and look at the Cardinals on defense, they are 30th in adjusted line yards. They are tied for 24th with the Chiefs in power success rate allowed. 17th in stuffed rate, 24th at the second level, and 18th in the open field. That's all DVOA numbers that I'm throwing at you right there. I looked at betting Tootin, Boot Scootin' Tootin this week to score a touchdown, minus $2.
You see McCaffrey's 3 higher than that?
In the game against Carolina?
I know.
Yeah, this is absolutely bonkers, though. So both running backs for Jacksonville are minus $2 in that neighborhood anyway to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And think about this. Tootin and Etienne are 3-1. Both guys 3-1 to score 2 touchdowns. Come on.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, I know they're bad, but that's the number you're going to put out there?
Man, I wonder if it's McBride and Wilson again here, too.
It's definitely going to be McBride.
Okay, because Jacksonville really struggles against the tight end. Myers has 8 for 105 since he was acquired from the Raiders. Thomas is out again. We'll see if he's a big part of the game plan with Jacksonville. But I just like this sling it and wing it here from Brissett. Not for nothing here. You know, other than that, I don't know how they beat the Cowboys on Monday night on the road.
And they controlled the game.
They did, but they have lost, 6 of 7, and Gannon is on the hot seat. No doubt about it.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. They're 1-4 at home. They're 3-7. Yeah. They were supposed to be a contention for a playoff team. So if they keep losing games, they can't stop anything either. Like he said, I'm a defensive guy.
I know, a lot of injuries.
Is on me, but
a lot of injuries there. So here's the deal with the tight ends. I'll get to it right now. Jacksonville is bottom 8 in catches allowed, yards, and they're tied for the second most TDs allowed at 7. That's against tight ends. Trey McBride with Jacoby Brissett in his last 5 games since Brissett came in full-time at quarterback here. 8 for 72 touchdown. 10 for 74, 2 touchdowns. 5 for 51, touchdown. 9 for 127, touchdown. 10 for 115 and a touchdown. That's 42 catches on 57 targets in 5 games, and he has scored a touchdown in every single one of them. His prop number is 74.5, which is a very high number. His receptions prop is 7.5. Obviously, that's about as high as you can go for a tight end. But Opta AI stats have him, they're projecting him for 91 yards in this game, and I absolutely agree with it.
Yep.
This should be the McBride show all day long. It has been for 5 straight, and Jacksonville, they get torched by the position. This guy's the best guy in the league. Brissett loves going to him. And they have injuries at running back. So I don't think it's going to be like a big game on the ground for Arizona's backs there.
Okay.
And maybe this...
It could get crazy. It could be a crazy game. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and maybe 47 reps too low.
Yep, he definitely should eat in that one. No doubt.
Yeah, there's no way I would bet them. I don't think I would lay 3.5, 4 with the Raiders under any circumstance.
Let's see. I noticed earlier in the show you said, "Hey, can Houston win the division? You're concerned about the Colts." Well, Houston's got to catch Jacksonville though too.
Oh, they're in the mix.
You can't. Okay. You got to catch them as well.
That would be the. Obviously, both of those are concerns.
Jacksonville's like $2 to make the play. The schedule's a joke.
Look at their schedule.
Yeah.
And that would be the rub. I actually think that there's an angle here where the division could go Jacksonville 1 and then Houston to like tie with Indy at number 2. Just because Jacksonville's schedule is so easy, especially when you compare it to that of Indianapolis' schedule.
I love the spot for the Texans next week if the Colts beat the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, you're not kidding.
Coming in, smelling themselves, everyone pumping their tires.
They can feel the division.
Extended rest. Here comes Stroud back. Oh, yeah. They'll be all over dimes.
I can't get over how good the defense is, man.
Nasty. Awesome.
And
I hope it's not what could have been season, but it looks like that's where we're going because they blew so many games early on.
And like it also, I think, speaks to the coaching staff too to be able to game plan for an offense like that with Josh Allen. And by the way, keep that in mind. Josh Allen does obviously his kryptonite here is Houston.
They're all over Joe Brady too. They've had enough of the mesh stuff. Nate Tice was good. All they do is run the same crap. They run the shallow crossing routes and try to pick guys and hope it works. What happened to this guy with the creativity? Bills fans are livid at Brady. It's the same garbage for 2 years.
I would also say that they have whiffed on draft picks, too, right, to help Allen out in the passing game. It also doesn't help that Kincaid was out of the game, not playing. Up next, Mike Somich is going to join the program, VSiN host, as he does every Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. We'll get his best